What's poppin', people? It's Dante, getting my morning started here in Fairmount Park, Philadelphia. Yeah, just go slow, let life flow. You know, the bus was late. Adriana, shout out to the bus driver, she's super cool, said that she was running 5 minutes late today. I'm like, look, you know, there's no rush. I think we get caught up in this rat race of going, you know, just so fast. Everything's fast paced. It's like, I kind of want to go slow-mo, you know. You see Neo in the Matrix dodging bullets. That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, just trying to go day by day, you know. There's no rush. You know, I find that by slowing down and embracing stillness, shutting down your mind, you enter this meditative state. It's really interesting. I mean, I was always apprehensive to meditate. I'm very much an active person who likes to move, who likes to do things. And so when I'm on the bus, I typically stand and I allow myself to do some writing, maybe journaling, researching. I use ChatGPT to learn about things. But for the past week, I've been experimenting and I've been sitting down, firstly. And I use noise-canceling headphones, listening to these Gregorian chants while praying the rosary, which is something I remember doing in Catholic school growing up as a boy. And I never really thought about prayer as a meditative state. But more so, these days, I'm using it as that. And I was actually in Rome for a 2-month journey where I spent every single day visiting this particular church and would pray. And I found that the stillness of prayer, it is a meditative state. And I think you can have a direct connection to God through prayer. And it's interesting because when I'm still and I'm not thinking and I have the noise canceled on the bus, you know, you have all the chatter and the noise and whatever, and you listen to these uplifting hymns or these chants while praying over and over again, you know, that same prayer, I find myself almost disconnected from my embodied reality in another world, in a way, where I find that the idea of prayer being meditative is much more powerful for me recently. I feel like it's making my mind and my body sort of let go, right? While I recognize the connection between the two, when you're still and you're simply listening and you're not moving and you're not thinking and you're more so in this state of just being, yeah, this to me is where you become godlike, dare I say, you know, where you find yourself so still and so receptive in moments of peace, in moments of solitude, in moments of quietness that uplift your spirit and make you feel good. When I actually pray the rosary these days, I keep my eyes closed. And, you know, when I open them, I kind of just smile and it's like, wow, now I can see the cotton candy sky, the sun is rising, there's clouds, but you can see that red hue and the blue, and it's very uplifting. I think the use of prayer as meditation is maybe a good way to start the day. You know, starting the day with meditation, with prayer, in nature, and then some journaling, right? And I think journaling, we can actually journal in a modern way, you know, using a GoPro, speaking out loud, discussing my journey or whatever comes to my mind. You know, I find that this is actually a much more interesting way to engage with journaling and writing. It's simply treating a video like a public meditation in a way. This is the rosary I got from the Vatican. Olive wood. Very, very beautiful, simple, and something I'm going to carry with me to remind me to disconnect from technology. You know, when you're on a bus, people are always on the phone, on the technology. But what if we use technology as a way to sort of symbiotically live in harmony with nature. You know, I find that actually using headphones like that on a bus in prayer is useful, you know, where I can shut down the world around me and utilize the technology to embrace that stillness. And this is perhaps a way to design a lifestyle where we subtract the distractions, you know, in order to become pure, you know, pure of our mind, of our body, of our heart, of our soul. You know, the distractions are very overwhelming, and maybe to design a life in where we no longer need to rely on technology to keep us entertained, where wherever you may be, you can embrace the peace and stillness of prayer. You know, maybe that's a much more useful, or not even like useful, it's just a much better way to spend the time it takes during transportation. If you take the bus, right, if it's like that perfect 15 to 20 minutes of peace before getting the day started. And yeah, it feels like I'm aligning with how I was as a child. I always loved when we started the day in prayer. Feels like something that was missing in life over the past decade or plus, you know. And so yeah, it's just a really nice way to start the day. And I figured I'd share, you know, I'm not trying to be some like evangelist for a particular religion or faith or anything, you know. I'm just sharing why I enjoy it and what it means to me. You know, when I spent time in Jericho, I remember being gifted prayer beads when I was spending time. I spent about 2 weeks in the mosque, sleeping on the floors, and I remember using the prayer beads amongst a group of brothers, and I found that it was very meditative. You know, the way in which you pray in a mosque is very meditative, where it's very repetitive and you're making these same motions over and over again, making salah. When you pray with the beads, you're repeating over and over again, Allah Akbar. You're repeating over and over again, Alhamdulillah, right? You're repeating the same phrases. And you do enter a meditative state through that stillness. And so perhaps by embracing the mysteries of faith in the Catholic tradition, I can embrace my personal faith and find more meaning in it. And so, yeah, I do enjoy this form of prayer. I think the rosary is powerful. I think it's a great way to embrace stillness. I think it's something that we maybe lack in modern life, is just finding yourself still and open and listening, not thinking, not doing, but just being. Wow, here comes the sun, do 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 do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Dang, man, this sunrise looks crazy with the clouds. It's beautiful.